Right, so I am going to do a little live demo for you. For those of you who are lucky enough to join on and see it, because it will be a super quick demo. What we're going to do is, let's spin you around. Hiya. So let's start again. I had this bumper in. I've sanded it back with 120. It's still got some fairly deep scratches in it. So I'm just going to skim those now with some Collad coarse UV putty. Collad do two putties, a coarse and a fine. The fine is really good for little stone chips or a final skim if you've got pinholes on something. I've done a video on that, so if you want the link to it, I can share it to you. Just send me a message and I'll share that. That works really well on this. But what we're going to use today is the coarse. And literally, this is going to be so quick, guys. So if you can hang on, it's going to take 3 seconds to cure this. So I'm going to be using the Collad fast curing lamp. This is a wired lamp, so it runs off a little transformer, which you can see down there. Super powerful, lightweight, easy to use. So I'm going to put you on the stand, and really it's just going to be really quick. So don't go away. We're going to cure it. 3-second cure, sand it back with some 240. So all you need is a little bit on there. All right, that's it. Don't hang around because this cures really quickly, even in sunlight. Just squeeze it in. And it sands back really nicely, this UV putty. Right, so that's that. Let's just wipe that little bit away. I'll just show you what we've got. Show you the skim. So it's a nice translucent skim. Just going to put my glasses on. When curing with UV lamp, you need to wear glasses just to protect your eyes. So this is your main power on button. You can hear the fan kick in. You've got your trigger to switch it on and off. All right, and that's it. So it's a 3-second cure. We're done. That's cured now, so what I can do is stand that back. Just a little bit about the actual lamp itself. So you can hear it still running even though I've finished. That will automatically switch off within a minute, something like that. It's just allowing the UV lamps to cool down. So sand this back. I'll put you on the tripod again. And then I will go through if there's any questions and answer them. So let's just move this around. There we go. So I'm going to put a little bit of guide coat on this just so we can see. So I'm just going to use some orange guide coat on here. Kobaks do 2 guide coats, an orange and a black. This just helps me see any low and high spots. So I'm going in with some 240. I will come and tell you a little bit more about the UV putty as well after I've done this. So there we go. I don't think we were on for very long, but you can see. So the putty is translucent. So even though you think there isn't any in there, it is actually nicely filled. It doesn't sink back. You'll never have any issues with it sinking back or any reactions with any type of paintwork. So that's what makes this such a quick system, UV curing. Right, let's spin you round. I did say it was going to be quick. See if there's any questions that need answering. If not, I will let you all go. So it's just scrolling through. If you have any questions, please ask them. You've got me here. It's always good. And even if you think it's a silly question, I'm quite happy to answer it. So, yes, Skid Mark, I'm well. Thanks, buddy. Just scrolling down to see if there's any other questions. Hello, Ben Tape. It's frozen. There was, I thought I saw one come through. How long does a thicker skin take to cure? Is it just like little bits like that? So you can add more and more. You can build it up, but what you need to do is put on a 3 ml skim at a time. Don't exceed that. 3 ml, cure it, 3 ml, cure it, and you can build it up, and you can endlessly build it up. You don't need to key it each time you're putting the second skim on or third skim. So that's the way to do it. Don't overload the product per cure. You're looking at 3 seconds. So even if you did 5 skims, what's that? 15, 20 seconds maximum. So it's not a lot. So I hope that answered your question, Mark Grant. Right, just going through, see if there's any others. That's it. So I'm quite happy to do another one, seeing as though that was so quick, if you'd like to see that. Where have we got? Let me spin you around. So there's a little chip here. That's probably about 3 mil. We'll do that one, shall we? It's easy to do this because it's so quick. I'm just going to put you back on the tripod again. I'll bring you a little bit closer this time. Okay, so we are using the Colad Coarse UV putty. Let's just give that a little wipe. Let's make sure all the dust is out of it. There we go. So going with the coarse, just need a little bit on the bottom of your spreader. That's actually probably a bit too much. This product goes quite a long way. Squeeze it into the chip that you're filling, or the little scratch. There's a couple more up here we'll just address as well. So I've sanded this back initially with 120. That's as far as I want to go. And now I'm just going to skim it with the Colad UV putty. Quick cure. So there we go. That's on. We'll cure it. Let me just put my glasses on. So I'll bring you back, just so you can see. So we're using the Colad fast curing lamp. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's probably a little bit quicker than 3 seconds. So that's it. It's cured. So now I can sand it, like I said before. Lift you up a little bit. So any questions, put them down there. We'll answer them afterwards. Just putting a little bit of Kovacs guide coat on there. When you're working on darker areas, the orange is a good choice. And it's 240 I'm going to sand this with. You could go 180, but you don't need to. 240 is ample. And that's it. Literally under a minute, we have filled in these chips, sanded it back, and no risk of sink back at all. What was I going to say? So something else, if you have a look on my sander, I'm actually using the Skelly Time backing pad system. So this is a really great system. It's flexible. It takes to the shape of the panel nicely, which is why I can sand these curves in that panel. Right. There we go. I hope I wasn't talking too quick. I probably was, and that's because everything was so quick with this process. But I'll just check that there were no questions after that initial one. Where do you get the products? So, here we've got a couple of questions. So let me just scroll back then. Hold on a minute. So Paint Squirter, Mr. Paint Squirter, can you do the same with UV primer, keep building it up and drying it in between coats? So UV primer, ideally the way you want to put on UV primer is you put 1 to 2 coats on. If you're putting 2 coats on, put on 1 coat. Depending on the primer you use, the one that I use, I just give it a 30-second flash off, and then I will put on the second coat, and then I'll cure it immediately using the lamp. And that normally takes 30 seconds to 45 seconds to cure. If I need to keep building up the coating, then sand that back with, just cure it back with 240, 320, and you can put on another 2 coats. So yes, to answer your question, you can just use that process. Where do you get the product? So I believe you can get that from most of the paint distributors. SPS in the UK, Spray Guns Direct, I think they also sell Colad products. But when I post this up, I will tag Colad UK, or you can actually contact Colad, the main Colad page, and they will help you out. And just making sure there's no other questions. Can you fill deeper cracks in one go? So that's I kind of answered that earlier, but if you just jumped on tone detailing, yes, you can. I would say if you're going to go for anything over 3 mil deep, then put 1 skim on first, cure it, then you can put on your second or third skim, whatever you want to do. But each time, don't try not to exceed 3 mil depth on 1 skim and 1 cure. But if you were doing a 12 mil deep scratch, then you want to try and sand most of that out. But if you are going to do it, make sure you cure on each skim. Cheers, buddy. No worries. Right, that's it. I think I've answered all your questions. It was literally a quick live. So just to recap on the products that I used. So it was the Colad. Let me spin you around. It was the Colad UV Putty, and the code is 915020. So that's the course. This is the one that I use for majority of my work. If I'm going to skim any scuffs, when I've done a final plastic weld, if I just want to give it a light skim, that's what I will use. It's great for direct to metal and to plastic. It has flexibility. Something that I need to let you know is if you continuously build this up, what will happen is it'll become quite thick, and you'll lose the flexibility of the product. So that is something to remember. You've also got the fine putty, which is 915011, and that is great for final skims, any little pinholes, or if you've got little stone chips. Sometimes, you know what it's like. Sometimes when we do a repair and we prep the panel and everything, and we find just the tiniest little chip in it that we seem to have missed. So I will then skim this over it, sand it with 600 to 800. I don't put any primer on top of it, don't need to, and then I can just paint straight over it. So it's a brilliant lifesaver for that, or job saver. Use some guide coat after I'd cured it, just to see any high and low spots. And then the lamp that I cured it with was from Colad. It's their fast curing lamp. It's a wired, so it runs off the mains, but it's a light lamp, easy to use, super powerful. Always wear the goggles when you're curing. Right, I don't think I've missed anything on that. Oh, the sanding. So when you're going to sand this panel, I had prepped it with 120 first. You could go up to 180, then a skim, then I sanded back the skim with 240. You might even be able to get away with 320, but 240 is ample. I'd go in for that first and then finish it off with 320. Right, I think that's everything, and I don't think I saw any more questions come through. No, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to say goodbye and have a lovely day. There probably won't be a video on this one because it's just a normal, boring bumper repair, not like yesterday's one where I did the plastic welding. But if you have any questions or you need any advice on anything, my page is always open. You're welcome to DM them over to me or put them in the comments, because if you put them in the comments, it's good because it helps other people as well that might have had a question, helps them understand. Right, that's it. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.